Hello, I think it's going to be a quiet day. Yes, it's a Friday, and we're streaming. Because Wednesday got weird, and Friday is slightly less weird. So I decided that this is what's going to happen. Now, the practical upshot of that is I'm done all my work for the week. No worries, Zep. I was going to say, you're on the Discord now. You've got no excuse. But yes, we did a pre-stream. Discord exclusive, and it was a lot of fun. If you're in a meeting with the boss, tell Bruce Springsteen I said hi. I don't know. It's a lame dad joke. Wow, we're starting with the dad jokes real early. I think it's going to be a quiet day. Music seems a bit louder than you today. Let's fix that. We can fix that. How's that? That good? Music's all over the place because different playlists. It's all. There we go. All right. I haven't got a proper audio ducking on the music. I gotta get that going. That'll fix everything. Yeah, so this wasn't announced or anything. This was just kind of like, just do a stream. So anyway, I am done. I've done all my build work for the week. So those who were able to make the pre-stream on the Discord will know that I don't know what I'm going to do today. I have a couple things I should do. Travis, hello, nice to see you. So there's two possibilities for something we can do. Barge and fire, no, bad. Although not necessarily out of the question because we use both barge and fire regularly. Hey JB, nice to see you again after a few minutes. Is barge actually? I think barge is extremely flammable. Yes, I do believe that's on the warning label. Let's see. It says no temperature problems. The flammability. Okay, there's a little box down here. Health 2. Reactivity 0. Flammability 3. So I'm gonna go out on a limb and say, yeah, this stuff is real flammable. Don't set it on fire. Yeah, so there's a number of things we could do other than because there's do you know what pattern you use for the Kermit the Frog puppet? Here we go. I made my own pattern after a lot of experimentation, and this is why it's good to have a blog. You see, this is what the blog is useful for. I'm going to find the blog that references it. No, I do not sell Kermits or Kermit patterns. Before we can just head that off. But yeah, I made my own pattern after a lot of experimenting. Literally like a year of experimenting. And if you want to know why, here we go. So I got a couple of blog posts that you could read. There's one. And hopefully that link comes across in the chat. I'm not sure if it will or not. And there's the other. So this is just talking about the process of making Muppet replicas and why I don't sell them, or the patterns, and also the process of making your own patterns. And hopefully that will help you out. I think I found a great material for flexible mouth plates, silicone sandwich bags. Oh, very interesting. So the problem with silicone is it does not take glue at all. In fact, it's the opposite of taking glue. It actively repels glue and everything else. That's why we use it for baking masks and stuff like that. You can get like a marine adhesive that's a silicone-based adhesive that will stick to it. It's not great for puppets. This is Leia. Oh, hi. Nice to see you again. What I have used, so there's a couple things you can use for flexible mouth plates. What I usually use for most of my shop builds are these. These are flexible cutting mats, and you can get these on Amazon or dollar stores, stuff like that. These are fantastic because they're designed to flex. They're also designed to spring back into shape. They're super cheap, and so I make all of my flexible mouth plates for the shop out of this. My Kermits were made with gasket rubber. I have some, it's kind of buried, so I'm not going to dig it out. But the kind of traditional material that you would make a flexible Kermit style mouth plate out of is gasket rubber, which does or can take glue a little bit better. Yes, yeah, exactly. Thank you. Thank you, Leia. Yeah, silicone is not a recommended material for mouth plates. Again, it's problematic for a bunch of reasons, but you just can't glue it. That's one of the things. Let me see if I can dig out some. There, actually, there's some right here. Here we go. So what I started out when I was experimenting with materials for Kermit's mouth, I started out with these. These are, you probably recognize this if you've ever seen gasket rubber in like a hardware store or something. Let me go to the top cam. It's going to be a Q&A podcast. Ha! Speaking of podcasts. Anyway, this is just regular gasket rubber, and you'll even recognize the color if you use this. And this is 1/8 inch thick. I started out using this stuff for my Kermit experiment, and it was fine, but it's a little too thick and it doesn't spring back into place quite as much as I wanted it to. And in observing how Kermit's actually performed, his mouth was incredibly flexible, and I'm like, this is not the stuff they use, because if it was, the mouth would never behave like that. Have you been making a live hand sack puppet? And I was wondering, how do you make the eyes? It's a big question. I haven't made a sack puppet yet. I've made lots of live hands puppets with Blinkmechs. Somewhere in the archive, I actually do a Blinkmech live. I think we'll be getting to that soon. Also on the plans are going to be a whole video series of FAQs. Making a Blinkmech is going to be on that. That will be upcoming. It's really a long question. I should queue this stuff up, but yeah, we are going to be doing some FAQ videos, and making a Blinkmech like that is on the docket. Adam Krutinger has a really good making a simple eyebrow mech video. In the meantime, I have a slightly different method. But anyway, what I ended up with, get back to the Kermit mouth plate thing. So this is 1/8 inch. You can also get this, which is 1/16 inch, which is, half the diameter or half the thickness. And I ended up using 2 of these sandwiched together because one of these was too flexible. The head would just collapse. But I found 2 of these 1/16 inch rubber sheets glued together, like sort of laminated, sandwiched together. Hello, Koya, nice to see you. Was exactly the right level of flexible and would spring back. And also put some fleece, some polar fleece around the inside as a kind of lining. And what it ends up like, I can show you. I have Kermit number 2 here. This is what that is. This is 2 thicknesses of 1/16 sheet rubber with some fleece on the outside. And you can do the Kermit scrunch, and then it'll spring back, and it's all good. Hi. This is live streaming. Looks all right. So that's what this is. This is literally two layers of this and a layer of fleece. What's Frankie's favorite Labyrinth character? And you can't go wrong with Hoggle. I don't think it's that David Bowie guy. He's got codpiece issues, I didn't want to get into it. Hoggle's just fun to say. Goblin, I can tell you that, huh? References. But anyway, there's the Kermit mouth plate thing. But in general, these flexible cutting boards are really good. They're also beginner friendly, right? And they're not expensive. So these, I have found gasket rubber harder and harder to find because this isn't really used in plumbing anymore. So you kind of got to go to like older hardware stores and stuff to find this. But these flexible cutting mats you can get anywhere, and they're sturdy. They work well. They take glue. They're all the things you would want you can find in these. So that will be my recommendation for at least starting out and prototyping. Okay, so what are we going to do today? There's two main possibilities. We could, I need to do product photos for the puppets that have been built since last week. And I could show that whole process, kind of. I mean, some of the cameras aren't in the right position for it. I had to like put the backdrop down and set up the actual good camera. But we could do that. And I need to do that at some point today anyway, so we could just do that. It's not going to be terribly exciting, but it'll be kind of fun because you'll see the puppets and everything. The other thing that we could do is Frankie has needed a repair for a while. And so we could just dissect Frankie. Frankie, it's a minor repair. It's just cosmetic. It's not structural or anything, and you don't see it on camera, so I haven't bothered with it yet, because why would I? But I should do it. It's just, you know, for completeness. But it's a very quick little cosmetic thing. It's between his eyelids. The stitching has come loose. All puppets need repairs eventually, as the lecture goes. So maybe we'll do that. Maybe we'll start out there, and then we'll see about the product photos. You could be a Skeksis. Which Skeksis would you be? Why is it Skeksil? Yeah, I don't know. The Chamberlain's kind of, I don't know. The Gourmand is pretty good, you know. I can't remember the names of all the Skeksis, but the designer. Watch, yeah, it's not going to be that bad. So here's what I was talking about on. So if for those of you who are just joining us, we did a pre-stream on the Discord where we were just like hanging out. So if you join the Discord, there's some bonus material you can get. Or people with the Gourmand, yeah. You know, if I can't eat in real life, I'll eat and pretend. So Frankie is put together, and the Oracle's like this as well, with a separate head. So there's actually like a tube that goes down the entire body. So I could take Frankie's head right off, and we might do that. And we're also choosing your mystic. That's a good point. That is a very good point. Yeah, now I don't know. Now I'm torn. The hunter was pretty. Actually, no. What was the ones that lived together in the TV show? I can't even remember what they were called. It's been too long. They were really cool though. So there aren't directions on the pattern for the goblin that is sold on Etsy. It assumes that you have some experience. It says that on the listing. I should probably make that a little bit more prominent. So no, there aren't really instructions. I mean, there are like, you know, you'll need 2 of these and 2 of these and mirror this, and there is that kind of thing, but there isn't like a step-by-step, you know, here's how to do it. On the giant infinite to-do list is also me doing a video series of building a goblin with that pattern that I will make unlisted and just send it to people who buy the pattern. That's in the future, unfortunately. I haven't had time to do that yet. But so no, before you buy the pattern, I would recommend getting some experience if you don't already. You will need to know how to read patterns before you get that pattern. So it's all good. Take your time. There's, you know, infinite number of copies, so there's no rush. But yeah, and I'm happy to answer questions, obviously. If you join the Discord, oh, hang on, we can do this. I think I got the bot working again, so let me see if this will work. Discord. Oh, hopefully a link came up for y'all. That's how you join the Discord. I'm always there, and I'm happy to answer questions. As the new folks know, there's been a lot of question asking for the past couple of weeks, so that's cool. Happy to do it. I can't always get to it right away because, you know, I'm busy. I gotta make puppets and stuff, so I will get to it when I can. There is a whole questions channel just for questions. yes, if you don't want to make your own patterns, Project Puppet is I highly recommend Project Puppet. I've still got Project Puppet patterns that I use occasionally. And they are fantastic and reasonably priced. Great place to start. And they do come with instructions. So that's probably your best path, is to get Project Puppet patterns first, because the way you read those patterns is very similar, if not identical, to the way you would read like mine or Adam Krutinger's. That's highly recommended that you do that. ProjectPuppet.com. In fact, I want to know if they still have it out. I'll show you the very first puppet I ever made as an adult. It's a whole history. It is a Project Puppet. Let's see if I can pull it out of the closet here. I'm not sure where it went. I know I kept it because, of course I did. Oh, wait, I think this is it. Oh boy, not in great shape, folks. Oh, these poor arm rods. Oh boy. Well, arm rods are supposed to get beaten up. So let me show you this. This is a special. Oh, one of his pupils came off. So forgive the missing pupil. This is, as an adult, this is the first, wow, his arms are all messed up. This is the first puppet I made 3 or 4 years ago. You can see the beginnings of the Greeblies here. Yeah, hi. And so this is the glorified sock puppet from Project Puppet. That's exactly what this is, 1-to-1. I know, I'm sorry. I'll clean it up and make it nice again. But here's another interesting thing. Like, see how bent and mangled these arm rods are? This is the way arm rods get. Every professional puppet that I've ever seen has had the arm rods just get totaled. And that's what happens when you're filming. You need it they bend it, and they all get banged around, and that's just the way it is. So, that's what you see a lot of the behind the scenes shots of the Muppets and stuff. You look at Kermit's arm rods sometimes, and they're just twisted and mangled, and they look like a tree branch. That's the way it is. So there we go. There's a little stream exclusive for you. Glad I found that. I didn't know where it went. I can't even remember how I attached those eyes. I know it wasn't. Yeah. Oh, there's a lot of origin stories going around. We were talking about New York on the pre-stream. That's really the origin. So I don't know. Let me think. Maybe we'll do Frankie. Maybe I'll finish my coffee and then we'll get to Frankie. It might be the music from Metroid Prime. This is all Nintendo remixes, I believe. So it's entirely possible. This one's called Save Your Game. So I don't know. I'm not a Nintendo person, so I don't know. I'll occasionally hear something I recognize from Animal Crossing, and that's pretty much it. If Scarlet were here, they'd be pointing at every time Tetris comes up, which I understand is sometimes. Yes, exactly. Jamie's partner asking me to demonstrate lip syncing a puppet at the Museum of the Moving Image was literally the moment that sparked all the neurons. Indieskeep, hello, welcome. Nice to see you. We're just having casual hangoutage. I'm not even sure we're gonna get to anything terribly productive. I really should do the Frankie repair, so maybe we'll do that. But yeah, this is kind of what the pre-stream was like, except where I was playing the music I wanted to listen to. So tune in for that. Join the Discord, etc. Oh, we did pass, just yesterday, we just passed 400 downloads for, where is it? Here it is. The podcast. So if you want to help us, go listen to the podcast and encourage those you know to do so. It was a death metal, there could be. You think you make a Swedish Chef type puppet? So Swedish Chef is real different, because Swedish Chef is a sack puppet, essentially, but notably uses no gloves. Those are human hands. That's why his hands look weird. sometimes because it's actually just, they needed to be able to manipulate things. So that's mostly Frank Oz's, I mean, the classic Swedish Chef, that's mostly Frank Oz's hands, just naked. But the head is actually carved foam, and that's a whole different thing. It's flocked carved foam. And that is a different style to most of what I do. I do a little bit of foam carving when I do like features. But I haven't done, like, flocking is a whole other discipline and requires some equipment that I just don't have. Piggy is also carved and flocked. Although I think these days they've actually made, like, Statler and Waldorf are the same. I think these days they have actually made molds and they cast the foam because you can get reproducible results more often. Yep, there we go. Head carved and flocked. Gonzo, so Gonzo's snout is carved and dyed and tinted. But the bulk of his head is actually, like, you know, fabric, like fleece or fur over foam. But yeah, so no, I haven't done that. That's a whole other discipline. I'd like to, but flocking is a whole thing. It's like, so there's different types of flocking. The kind that they use for the Muppets is like this electrostatic gun. You've got to wear like hazmat suit to do it. It's really wild. It's this whole thing. So it's not super easy. And hello, Joe. Nice to see you. So yeah, it's a whole other process. Flocking only for model railroading. You got to do it for grass, yes, and that uses sphagnum moss, if I remember correctly. Yeah. So the other kind of flocking, I mean, flocking is basically taking any kind of fiber and then attaching it to a surface with some kind of adhesive. The way that it's done with electrostatic flocking is like there's adhesive on the surface, and then the electrostatic gun is like drawing the particles to it, literally through electromagnetism, and so they all stand up straight, and so you get this really nice fuzzy texture. It's why Piggy is always like different on each season of the Muppet Show. Yeah, exactly, because that was all hand carved. That was all, like, there was, you know, obviously you have some patterns you go by, but in the end, it's literally just somebody sitting down and trying to make one that looks like another, and that is really hard. So I'm pretty sure nowadays, actually most of the ones that were carved foam and flocked are all fleece covered now, so I'm pretty sure they're just casting and covering it in fleece. I know that Dr. Teeth is like that now, for example, like the new Dr. Teeth and Floyd used to be all just raw foam, and now they're covered in fleece. It's easier, quicker, they last longer. That's how Warhammer painters do grass with electrostatic flocker. Yeah, it's a whole other discipline. It's really cool. I'd like to do it one day. Dr. Teeth personal reproduction went, you know, when I have the time, that's always the issue, isn't it? Because I got to keep the store stuff turning out, and only me. So, you know, when I get the scratch when Disney pays me a lot of money to make the Oracle show, then we'll have some flex time, and I can hire some people, and we can get started. Speaking of getting started, maybe we should. Let's do the Frankie repair. Let's do it. I need more lozenge. My throat is sore today. And of course, I'm a stressing long shag fur. I need to make a rough-looking puppy. Would you recommend boiling cut pieces? Or just a yard of fabric and then clean the parts out? Dr. Plate is a plan of Dr. John. Yes, Dr. Teeth is like a combination of Elton John and Dr. John. So Travis, for the fur, I haven't boiled fur yet. But if I were, what I would do, I just don't have the room to like lay it out and let it dry. But what I would do is I would cut the pieces out. We talked about this, I think, last week or the week before. And somebody, it may have been Joe, was saying that what they do is they cut it first and then boil it, but they cut it a bit bigger than what they need. just to make sure they've got some play and some leeway, and it's fur, so you've got a lot of flexibility there, right? So that would be my passed on recommendation, is to cut the pieces first. If I were to do, that's how I would do it as well, because then you just need less room, right, to have it lay out and dry, because you can't put it in the dryer, obviously. You just have to let it air dry. The other thing you can do if you want kind of gnarled up, messed up looking fur, like scrungy like that, is to do the white glue thing, but just not comb it or anything. Just like get your fingers in there, trim it a little bit, trim it randomly, and then get your fingers in there and really scrunch it up, and you know, or use like hair product, you know, like styling gel and stuff, and just goop that all up and get it all in there and scrunchy and stuff. That's another way you can kind of approximate that kind of boiled look without actually boiling it. It's never as good as, like, boiling is the best, but that's how you can kind of approximate that look. So depends. Experiment. Take a little swatch and try different things and see what you find works best. That's another thing. Like, always mess around. Like, always leave yourself some space to, like, just play. You'll come up with stuff that you never would have thought of, right? But parts losing their shape. BJ glue option. Yeah. I mean, that's what I always do when I'm styling fur in any way, if it's messy or not. Just because of the room. You can put it in the dryer if you set to no heat. Good point. Yeah. We did talk about this the other bit, because I remember I was saying it's not really an option for me because of the way that the dryers work in my building. So I would have to lay it out. I also wonder if steamed fur. Now we do have a steamer. That sounds like a worthwhile experiment. I don't know about for on stream, but that's something I may try. That's a good point. Thank you, Joe. All right. Time for troll surgery. Here we go. I can't believe you're gonna do this to me. Here we go. So the question is, I got all these song puppets just laying around. Look at this. The question is, here's Frankie. Hello. No anesthetic. No. This is not right. Stop it. So the repair that is needed. We turn Frankie over and you see here between Frankie, you hardly ever even see. I bet some of you didn't even know Frankie had eyelids. Frankie's got eyelids, but the two eyelids, these should be sewn together and they've come apart. The stitching just came loose. It's ladder stitching on loose. You know, it's not precision science. And I don't want that, because the light does come through this, and you can actually kind of see that every now and then. So I just gotta let's ladder stitch these together. But the question is, so the way that I could just do it, I could just lay it like this and just do it. But Frankie is also put together, like I said, with a neck tube. So there's a tube that goes down the entire body. It actually comes out at the bottom. That's what this sock is. And this giant safety pin, you never see this on camera because Frankie never turns around, but this giant safety pin, that's what's holding the neck tube in place. And that's all that's holding the neck tube in place. When I take this out, I can literally just take Frankie's head off. So I think just for fun, if nothing else, let's do that. I haven't done that since I built Frankie, so this may be a huge mistake, but huge mistakes are always worth making. So here we go. We're taking the safety pin out. All right, Frankie's head is free. Here we go. I'm a little nervous now. Yeah. We gotta feed the boning up through there. There we go. So, this is literally an old pillowcase. You know all of Frankie's secrets now. This is actually not bad, because we could show some other stuff. I can show you how his arms are attached to, which is a little bit different than what we usually do. They're not ball joints. We'll get to that when it comes time to put Frankie back together. There we go. It's a long neck tube. Look at that. Yeah, the sleeve goes right down. I didn't need to make it that long. I just wanted to make sure there was enough of it, but there we go. Look at, oh, this is terrifying. It's traumatic. Poor Frankie. I will seek revenge for this. All right, let's get to the repair so we could put Frankie back together. So all I'm gonna do, I wonder if I can get the close-up cam. It's a little bit better. Let me see. Maybe, kinda, sorta, really, but sorta. Yeah, okay. I really have to get it close to me, so maybe it would be better to do this. Close-up cam. This is gonna get shaky cam a little bit. Oh, that's really kind of out of focus and gross. Yeah, this is probably the best. So you can see right here, and there's the thread that's come loose. I gotta pull that out of there, and then we just gotta ladder stitch this closed. So let's do that. Start with this is microsurgery. This is tricky here. Let's see. Knotted. It is knotted. Just gonna trim it up. Again, this is never anything visible on camera, so I'm not terribly worried about it. It's just nice to have for the sake of completeness. It's actually, now that I pulled this apart, his eyelids are to come loose from there a little bit. As we speak, it's coming even looser. That's all right. I can fix that. That's great too. Don't even need to worry about that. But there, that just shows, you know, puppet gets used for a while, and all puppets need repairs, all of them. Or you're using the more repairs they need. But I'm going to start with stitching this closed, and then maybe we'll glue this down again. With barge. Color thread, excuse me. This looks pretty close. Let's see, is that, yeah, it's close enough. Close enough for a ladder stitch. Yeah. Danger, honey, as Scarlett would say. All right. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm trying to keep this on camera, but it's really hard to do that and actually look at it at the same time. So what I am going to use for this is this. This is a curved upholstery needle. It really helps to get into tight little spaces like this. So I'm not going to use a lot of thread, because the more thread you use, the more opportunities for tangles you want to avoid. So just thread this needle. And this is a really short repair anyway, so not to worry. And ow! So, I got a blister on my index finger from using my foam carving scissors too much this week, and I just remembered that as I picked up the scissors. Ouch! All right, so what I'm gonna do? I know this is really hard to see. Also, I'm covering up my mic with Frankie fur. I'm gonna get down here as far as I can, and this is straight up surgery. And I'm going to loop it through once, just to get us a tie-off point. Of course, the knot goes in place I don't want the knot to go. This is Frankie's revenge right here. I may take another stab at this. Yeah, that's not good. No good. Try again. The knot got weird. Just see furry cat, yeah. This a lot of it's going to be like this, because I'm doing this repair here. I'm having to look at this and then not look at the camera, and we can something like this would be better. it's weird. Let's see. Everything is weird. Okay, Frankie. Behave. Tell me to behave. You're having surgery on live stream. This is not cool. It's not in my contract. Okay. Let's see if we can get the knot in the right place. Not halfway up the thread this time. There we go. Much better. It is Frankie Repair Day. All right, so all I'm doing is ladder stitching between one and the other. You gotta ladder stitch this because it's from the outside. And this is one of those situations where you just have to take it one stitch at a time. There's no leeway and there's lots of fur around and you can't shave its roll legally. So I'm not being able to look at the recording, so forgive me if this is not on camera. It kind of is. Okay. It's Frankie Friday. I like that. Can we keep that and not the surgery? I don't know if I'll go all the way up. It doesn't really need to. I just want to close the gap so that the light doesn't shine through. That's the real issue. Oh, this is super fiddly. Yeah, well, this isn't a... I didn't bend the needle. This comes as pre-bent. This is a curved needle for... they use it for upholstery. In fact, it unbends as you use it and you have to rebend it. But it's really, as you can see, useful for getting into fiddly little places like this. I'm not doing terribly delicate little stitches because, again, you never see this, so... This is just for my peace of mind. Just to know that Frankie is complete. And unblemished. Getting fiddly. Stop it. Behave. See me on live stream. Good. You're not the one undergoing surgery. All right, 2 more, I think, and we'll be good. And then we gotta reattach his eyelid. Which is an unexpected and unplanned repair, but should be done. So we'll do it. The needle is actually unbending as we do this. Okay, so now that we got it all closed up, I'm just gonna whip stitch it a few times and tie it off. Try to trim it as close to the fabric as possible. You're always going to have a little bit that shows, but it's all right. Again, it's back here. You'll never see this on camera. You and I will know it's there and nobody else. this through once to tie a knot. Don't go crazy with your knots, by the way. That's another thing that a lot of beginners do. One knot, three whip stitches and one knot is plenty. It will hold. So then we're going to trim this as close down to the fabric as we can. And there we go. Frankie's eyelids are now one. So now comes the fun part of, you can see back here, this came loose. So this has got to be glued back down. So we got to get the barge and we got to get the mask, the gloves. So let's go back to, I guess, is it Sonic? Okay. I'm going to rely on you to fill in the Nintendo knowledge that I lack. Let me get set up for gluing, which means turning on the fan, getting the barge. I think I'll get some new gloves. I've used those like 8 times. Gloves, and of course, the respirator. It's barge time. Make sure it says openable. Yep, okay. Gloves go on. I got 1 glove too many, and as far as I'm aware, I do not have 3 hands. And the other thing I'm going to need is an applicator, because this is a fiddly little thing. We can't put this on with a barge brush. Okay, time for the mask to go on. The mic is going to get weird. Oh, where's my other mic? Oh boy, here we go. Hopefully this will work. I don't know how much charge it's got. Guess we'll find out. Okay. Let me know if you can hear me. Let me know if I can put my glasses on. Not really. Good enough. Gator bait, yes. Let me teach you about economic unfairness, Batman. Okay, so. Gus Vader. Darth Gus. Darth Yeti. When I have to get in and do fiddly little things like this, I use these. These are just like little makeup applicators. They're better than cotton buds, like a Q-tip, because cotton buds, they'll fray and they'll come off. This is just a little lump of foam. So these are better for doing little delicate stuff. This isn't going to be terribly easy to see on the camera. I'm sorry, but it's just the way it is. But so I just put a little bit on the applicator, little bit, never too much. And we're going to get down in there. Get the fur out of the way. And just paint it on. And then on the underside of the eyelid itself, and this just has to stay down. This doesn't have to be a perfect seal or anything. So that should be good. Now we're gonna get the old hair dryer. You want to get that good and dry. And press it down. And there we go. Boop, 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 boop. Frankie fixed. Oh, okay, let me put this away. Get rid of that. Gloves come off. Oh, the gloves are off all right. Mask comes off. Mic turns off. Here we go. And so now we can put Frankie back together, but before we do so, let me show you this. Again, I don't know how well the camera is going to pick this up. Inside Frankie. So the way his arms are put on, I made the arms removable, but they're not like snaps or anything like that. They're actually these sort of plastic washers that I made. I just made them out of, you know, some spare plastic. Drilled a couple holes in, and there's a lace, and there's like another one of these on the inside of the arm, and they're tied on. And this is the way a lot of professional puppets are done, because you can remove them, so you can do a costume swap easily. I did this in case I ever wanted to do rod arms for Frankie. I could just swap the arms out. But this is how most professional puppets are put together to do removable arms. You don't want to use snaps or Velcro or anything like that that's going to pull at the fabric or anything. This is a really good, solid way of doing it. It takes a little more time, obviously, and you have to deconstruct the puppet a little bit to do it, but that's why we build them like this. That's why we build them modularly, so the head can come off, so you can get to the arm and pull it off, and you know, and make repairs and things like that. So that's the secret to Frankie's arms. The Oracle's like that as well. So what we do to put Frankie back together is we just feed the neck sock, what a phrase, down through the body and kind of get it visually in place. Line up, there's a center seam. It's kind of hard to see camera, but there is a center seam. So I just kind of feel around, say, about there. Then get the big giant safety pin. A lot of the times, like if you don't want to see the safety pin, you'll pin it at the bottom as well. Frankie doesn't really matter because it's all covered up anyway. And we very carefully, even more carefully than that. Oh, this is not easy. Been a while. Here we go. It's going. It's going. Sometimes you got to be a little aggressive. And there we go. Frankie is repinned. Did I do that wrong? Let's find out. Nope, did it right. Surprise, surprise. Hey, I'm whole again. Thanks, I guess, you know. All right. Oh yeah, there we go. That's how Frankie works. We've got the whole Frankie anatomy now. Yeah, except legs. What would my legs look like? This is a question. Maybe the Oracle can answer it one day. I hope not. So there we go. There's the Frankie repair live. No anesthesia, nothing. We just did it. Hey, I'm a tough troll. I can take it. So that leaves the product photos. I need to do that. I got to do it today. The problem with that is that it's not terribly on camera friendly. So I don't know, maybe we'll just hang out. Or maybe we'll even cut the stream short because I literally have nothing else to do. But it might be fun. Let me see, actually. Maybe. How much of it can you see? If I tilt that camera up, you could actually, and move it, try to move it back a little bit. You might actually be able to see most of this. Let me just see. It's gonna get shaky, Cam, I apologize. But how much can we get here? Not that much. So, let me show you. Maybe I can use the close-up cam to kind of show you how things are in here, because this is real behind-the-scenes stuff now. Okay, this is going to be super shaky cam, so just cope with it here. So in the studio here is the table that you're used to seeing and everything. Up on the ceiling here, there's the backdrop, right, for the Oracle and all the product photos and everything. And that's just Velcro and tied up there. And so when I need to do product shots, I just drop that down, and then there's some more Velcro on the wall. You can't really see it that well, but and that just sort of anchors it onto the wall. And so, you know, the camera for Frankie and the Oracle, yes, that's I have a little collection of some Star Wars helmets there. I literally have no other place in the apartment for them, so that's why they're here. The camera doesn't move for Frankie, shooting the Oracle. That's exactly the same camera in exactly the same place. It's just the backdrop comes down, raises. So that's what I gotta do. I gotta drop the backdrop for the product shots, because they use the same backdrop as the Oracle. And that means I gotta stand on a little step ladder here, which I don't know how well this is gonna go. Sorry, wrong camera. There we are. But I gotta stand up on a little step ladder to reach and drop this down. So this may go terribly wrong. We'll find out. Now, the other thing I have to do is I have to move the top camera because it's kind of in the way. So you're gonna see a nice view of some garbage. Oh, not really garbage, but just stuff. So I gotta stand up on this. Oh boy. There you enjoy the Kermit shirt. And then tie here, move that up. And we drop down. The backdrop. This is going to go over the chat cam as well. So that's the back of the backdrop right there. And then on the other side, climb up on the step ladder, tie it, drop it down. Oh, the other thing I have to do is close the window and turn the fan off. There's a view for you. I don't really have to close the window. I just need to close the curtain so we don't get the extra light that we don't want. And I also have to turn off the backlight that's back there. Sorry for the focus going in and out. Oh, weird like that. There we go. But really entertaining camera angles there. So I was going to Velcro that to the wall so it doesn't move around a lot. Oh, it always moves around a little bit. If you look at some of the old Oracle episodes, when I was shooting in the summer and had the window wide open, that moves around a lot. You can see it flapping in the wind. The breeze is in the right place. But what that means is if we go to the puppet cam, here we go. See? Now, I know it's out of focus. Fix that in a second. And when I'm shooting, you don't see the overlays or anything. But what I have to do, this is the only, there's no other camera right now, so unless I do the close-up cam. Hey, hang on, we can do this. Do this. This is why you have lots of cameras. What a terrible shot. Anyway, I got a Bluetooth app that connects to the camera, and that's how I control the focus and everything. So let me just load that up. Connect to the camera. Riveting puppet building stuff, huh? You can see Kermit's deflated head back there. All right, there we go. So we'll switch back to the puppet cam. This is how I line up focal plane. I just sort of position it where it feels like it should go. I have a little puppet monitor down here as well that's directly connected to the camera. And boom, focused. So there we go. This is about where the puppet's gonna go. And I can record remotely from here as well. So let me grab, I guess we'll do the song puppets first. The other thing is, you can, maybe you can't. Yeah, you kind of can see, You can't on this stream. You can on the Puppet camera. The very top of my chair comes into the frame sometimes. I sometimes have to edit that out in post. Let's see how we looking here. I think maybe I want to go a little closer to the camera. So let me grab the phone. We'll go about here. That looks good. Focus. There we are. Look how much better that looks in the phone pictures. And we make sure that we don't have any weird little hairs or anything out of place or schmutz. You don't want schmutz. All right, so for the product photos, what I always do is I do the little video performance and then I'll do like poses, right? So that's basically what we have to do. So let me hit the recording, and I'm now recording to the hard drive directly connected to the camera. And I'm gonna make sure I find center here. Get some of that fur out of the way. We don't want it. There we go. How's that look? That's all right. Make sure our eye focus is good. Just a little bit. Yeah, that's pretty good. So we know that's center. So come in, do our little dance, do a little talk, and then run off. So that's the little video. And then we just want to do the stills. I always just take them from the video because this is the highest quality camera I have. So sort of figure out, there's our first one, side, side, back, closed, side, side. What I've been doing lately for the Stacy Gordon eyes is I've been doing like a close-up shot, and so I gotta refocus it for that. But these look real good. And eye focus is a little off, but I'm not gonna worry about it. So there we go. That's one. Rory, hello. I'm in the middle of doing product photos, which is not building puppets. It is selling puppets, but it's part of it. So next one. I'm out of focus. Make it focus. That's better. Okay, so I want it closer to the camera. There we go. Okay, so we got our center. Come in, do our little performance. Oh, I'm here. Hi, bye. Ah. And then front. Actually, let's do it this way. Make them slightly different. Side, side, back, closed, side, side, and we'll get up in here and do a close-up. Here we go. That's two. Two more songs and then two smalls. Exciting live stream product photo action. All right. Ooh, is that fuzzy one? I don't know if I like the nose crooked or... That's fine. It's fine. Got a little bit of schmutz hanging off the end of it. Clean that off. It's always something that you don't see until you edit the photos. It's always the way, you know? All right, so we got our center point. Go down. Come in, say hello. Hello, I'm here, and I'm going to walk off now. Bye. Go front, side, side, back, closed front, side, side, and get our close-up. I'm ready for my close-up. Actually, I like the crooked nose a lot. That's good. All right. I did not put wire in the nose. That's just stuffed with fiberfilm. It's just a happy accident, as Bob Ross would say. And finally, I like this one. I mean, I like them all, but Okay, so we got our... Ugh, you got fur in your mouth. How does that feel? Here we go. There's our center mark. So we're going to go down. We come up. Hello, I'm here and I'm a sock puppet. Ah. Then we walk off. Do our front, side, side, back, closed front, closed side, and then the close-up. That's probably a little bit better. And there we go. So that's all the songs. So I'm going to stop the recording there so I have a separate file that I can just cut down. And now I got to get smalls. We got 2 smalls to do. Let's get those down. Behind the scenes, out of focus action. Okay. Furry one first or second? Furry one's going to be a bit weird because the eye focus is kind of wonky on this one, so maybe we'll do it first just to get it done. Get my fingers in the finger loops. All right. Even out of focus, it looks good. Yeah, the eye focus got really kind of wonky on this, but I like that. I mean, it's obviously the Cookie Monster thing, right? Maybe we should lean into the wonkiness. We should do this. You know what? Yep, we're doing that. This is just the way it is now. Some of these are going to be on Etsy, some of these are going to be on the direct shop. I usually kind of just decide in the moment which you're going where, but usually the kind of higher end ones I like more, go on the direct shop just because I get to keep more of the money. So we'll see. Where'd y'all go? I don't know, maybe we won't do the eyes like that. I'm a little... People are gonna think that the eyes are stuck like that when, you know, they're not. There we go, that's pretty good. Okay. The eyes are actually just on a screw, so you can just turn them. So here we go. Here's our center point. So we're gonna come in, do a little performance, make sure people know that there's no arm rods, and then walk off. Do our front, open, side, side, back. That hurts because you have to turn your arm right around. Closed front, closed side, and then get right all up in our grill here. Oh, those eyes look good. Here's our close. Oh, they look so good. Okay, all right. I feel so egotistical. Oh, I wasn't recording any of that. Nah. I would like to blame the stream for that, but I can't. I've done this before. Let's try again. All right. Take it from the top. This sounds weird with Frankie's voice. All right. No, that was wrong. That was wrong. Center point. Okay, come in, do our little dance, wiggle the arms around, no arm rods, and then walk off. Front open, side open, side open, back. Front closed. Get in focus. Front closed. Side closed. Side closed. And that was what? It was just rehearsal. We'll do our get in focus. Do our close up. All right. One more small and then we are done. Both purple. Where's Scarlet when we need them? What was the biggest puppet? My live hands monsters are all about the same size, and there are definitely the biggest ones. I have a recent blog, which I will link to momentarily, that talks about specifically puppet sizes and how smaller is always better. But we'll get into that momentarily. Let me just get through this, and then we'll have a little chat. So there's our other small. Got to find center. Okay, bye. You gotta have fun when you're doing this. All right, come up, do our little dance, wiggle the arms around, and walk off. And front open, side open, side open, back, front closed, side closed, side closed, and close. So this fleece looks so good in this camera. Boom, and that's it, we done. So now, of course, I have to go and edit everything, which I'm not gonna do on camera because that involves me going into my office and pulling some video off of the hard drive and everything. So what I do have to do, let's go back to the shoulder cam. I'll put the backdrop up. Let me get the puppets here. I'm gonna put the backdrop up, which takes a little bit, so bear with me. Little fiddly, a little harder than putting it down. I'm gonna roll it up and tie it off on top. A little bit of stretching. And then we can talk about puppet sizes. That's a very good subject. I do talk about it a lot, but it is worth repeating. And I will link to the blog. Good timing on that question, because I literally just this week wrote a blog post about it. There we go. This one's always hard to reach. I can't quite get. Not to be perfect, it just has to exist. Story of my life. Okay. Whoa. Now my arms are tired. I just flew in from Boston, and boy, are my arms tired. Let me go back to this camera now. Yay. Whew, that was a lot. So, puppet sizes. For various reasons. Let me link to that blog post. OperationPuppet.com. This one from Boston, and boy, am I glad I'm not in Boston anymore. I've never been to Boston. It could be very nice. Let's not slag off Boston. Small. There you go. Copy. Paste. So hopefully that link comes through for you. So yeah, small puppets are generally better for a couple of reasons. One is, the major factor is always weight. You always want to make your puppets as light as possible, and even little tiny things that you wouldn't ever think matters when you are performing it, when you're holding your hand above your head. And it's not just about like holding your hand above your head and having a weight on it. It's about, you have to do a performance as well. So you have to do very subtle things. And so the lighter is always better. With a smaller puppet, you can do a more nuanced, subtle performance. You can make smaller movements and they matter. Whereas a big puppet, you need big movements, and it's just more bulky. It's harder to get a good performance out of them. Smaller is always better. Make your puppets as small as you can, not as big as you can. There's always this weird temptation to go bigger. I know, because I did it myself. Avoid that temptation. Fight it. There's a very good reason to not do it. The only time you ever want to make a big puppet is for like theater, or when you're doing something live that's going to need to be seen at a distance. That's it. Other than that, make them as small as you possibly can. How much fleece do I buy at a time? I tend to just buy what I need when I need it. So I usually just buy one. It depends on the fleece. If I'm buying polar fleece, I'll buy 2 or 3 yards. If I'm buying this stuff, which is the good stuff, the Nyla fleece, this I'll usually just buy one, unless I know I'm building, you know, a lot of puppets, because I always plan out my builds beforehand. So I kind of know what I need, and I usually look at what I have versus what I need, and build off of that. But yeah, I usually just get one at a time, like 1 yard. Sometimes I get more. It depends on how much is in the budget, really. I always get as much as I can at a time. Never more than 2, though. I don't think I've ever ordered more than 2 yards at a time. Where did I get the Kermit the Frog shirt? My wife got this for me. I'm not sure where she got it from. I had one before this, before I lost a lot of weight, that I got just on the internet somewhere. I honestly don't remember. It's not an officially licensed shirt, I can tell you that much. But yeah, there we go. So there, I hope that answers the question. Barry. But yeah, build smaller puppets. Smaller puppets are better in general. For more than one reason. Where's a good place to get clothes for your puppet? So, generally speaking, Build-A-Bear Workshop outfits will fit a lot of sort of standard size puppets. Also, infant clothing is a good place. Infant and pet Halloween costumes are also a good source. Generally speaking, though, like you probably want to, if you're gonna do costumes for your puppets, you want to learn tailoring and just make them yourself. Yeah, dog sunglasses. I mean, here's a good example. Good old Jelly Roll here. These are pet sunglasses, and they're just the perfect size for a nice little. All right. These were just on Amazon. You can get them all over the place. Hey, everybody, how y'all do? If you were here earlier, you could have heard some good music. But yeah, that's if I have to do clothing, that's what I'll do. The only exception is the Oracle's robe. The Oracle's robe I just made myself, and it's a really simple, just T shape. So there wasn't a lot of, I don't know from tailoring. I can't tailor. So, but if you're gonna get serious about it, because a lot of the time, if you're gonna use like infant clothing or something like that, it doesn't sit right. It's not proportioned right. You really just want like a scaled down version of adult clothes, right? And those don't exist. But like doll clothing, sometimes you can find things like that. So that would be my suggestion there. Jelly Roll needs a friend named Bix. You know, not a bad idea. That's entirely... Oh, stop giving me puppets to make that I want to keep. Yes, exactly. The problem with infant clothing is it tends to look like infant clothing. Exactly. So yeah, if you're going to do costuming, the best thing to do is to just learn tailoring and make it yourself. American Girl doll clothes could work. Yeah, anything is, again, it should look like a scaled down version of adult clothing. I mean, look at the Muppets, right? Look at Statler and Waldorf. Like, that's all custom made. They've made that for that scale themselves. What is Jelly Roll's favorite Electric Mayhem character? Ooh, that's a good question. I guess I have to be Floyd. Floyd got it. Possibly Zoot. I don't know. There's no good choice there, or there's no bad choice. That's the problem, right? And Lips is cool. I'm a pro Lips person. Lips is fine. Everybody lay off Lips. Is that show launched yet? Wait a minute. Did I miss? I think I don't know. I feel certain I would have heard it if that show had launched, the Mayhem show. Isn't that coming or something? We're gonna make clothes for puppets yourself. Free Build-A-Bear clothes are available for places on Pinterest. Yeah. So Build-A-Bear stuff can work, but again, it looks like Build-A-Bear clothing, right? The absolute best choice is to just do it yourself at Meta Coffee. That's not great. 12:15. We're supposed to be going till 1. I don't know that I'm gonna make it, folks. I'm super hungry. I may actually take my lunch break at the regular time for a stream day. And we got nothing going on. The next thing I have to do is to edit all that stuff I just shot. Do I think I'll do a collaboration with Adam Krutinger? I don't know Adam's status really. I know he's had some pretty serious health problems, so we've never talked. I don't think Adam even knows I exist, so. You're David Stevens. When he was in the game, he commissioned some to make clothes for his puppets. I do not. David Stevens is not a name I recognize. Sorry. But yeah, I would collaborate with anybody. I'm cool. Well, one thing we may do, I know I keep threatening this, but BJ Geyer is entirely on the list of possible like call-in guests to have at some point. BJ and I are friendly, so BJ's got one of my puppets, and I have one of his. So that's a possibility for celebrity puppet builders to come on. I'm certainly not. But yeah, I mean, hey, Adam, call me. Like that's cool. Everything's fine. Yeah. Unless y'all got any more questions, I mean, keep firing. I'll answer as long as you want to ask questions. Other than that, I think we may end early because I could use some lunch. To be honest. But yeah. The next thing I got to do is edit all that video and then get the listings up. I don't know which ones I want to go on the Etsy shop, which ones I want to go on the direct shop. What are you eating for lunch? Probably what I always eat for lunch, and that is carrots, like baby carrots, half a green pepper, and hummus, period. And not even a lot of hummus. Half a quarter cup of hummus. That's it. It's usually what I have for lunch. There's a reason I look like this now. It is, it's what I can have, right? There's not a lot of carbs there, and not a lot of calories either. But yeah, it's what I've kind of come up with is by like quick and easy diabetic friendly lunch. I'll either have that or just a big old salad. Like, we have salad so often for dinner, there's often leftovers, so we'll just go and have some salad. I don't have a favorite. Oh, hang on, maybe I do have a favorite musical. I'm not a big musical person. I find live theater stressful. This is one thing about. I'm always waiting, and this is kind of the point of live stuff, is that stuff can go wrong, and I'm always like, I'm empathizing with the performers, going, "Oh, this is something better not go wrong." So, but I was taken by a friend years ago to go see Sweeney Todd. Sweeney Todd was fantastic, so I will answer Sweeney Todd. Could you hot glue hands for, I assume you mean Snoof type puppet? I wouldn't, it depends on what you mean by hot glue. So, for doing any, like if you're sandwiching, hands together to put the armature inside, that kind of thing, hot glue and foam just don't. It's a bad idea. Hot glue and almost anything. Hot glue has very, very low number of really quality applications. You really want to use contact cement, an industrial quality contact cement, and take all the safety precautions. Hot glue is not a replacement for contact cement. You really want the contact cement for a bunch of reasons, but I mean, one of them is hot glue is dangerous. It's hot. It's napalm. Like, the only time I've ever had a serious injury from puppet building was from hot glue. So I would not recommend hot glue as a replacement. Now, if you cannot, if you don't have good ventilation and you don't have any other choice, yeah, you can, glue a puppet hand together with hot glue. It's not impossible, it's just not recommended. Yeah, hot glue is great for heavily corrugated cardboard, and that's really it. One of the things I do use hot glue for is I'll use it to add features frequently. It's a quick and easy way, like this hair is put on with hot glue, for example. But you've got to be really careful. There's no second chances with hot glue, right? It's like you got to put it on and just hope for the best. This tongue is put on with hot glue. So it's a little dab as well, right? You don't want to overuse it because it gets places. It drips, and it's messy, and it's dangerous. And if it does drip, you can't do anything because it's hot. Right? You can't clean it up quickly. It just leaves a big mess. There's a lot of downsides to hot glue. So use it judiciously, use it carefully, and use it sparingly. It does have uses, but not as many as you might think. And it's kind of sold as this beginner-friendly thing, and it really isn't. So just be cautious with your hot glue. I have more safety precautions that I recommend for hot glue than for barge. Like, it's straight up dangerous. So be careful. That's all. That's my recommendation. Yeah, you can use it if you have to, but I wouldn't recommend it. Yeah. Okay, where are we at? We're almost at 12:30. That's not bad. That's a pretty good stream. We did a lot. We did a lot this stream. A lot of variety. Got an hour and a half. That's not bad for an impromptu thing. And so I'm sorry I missed last Wednesday. I was not in a on-camera state. I still got my work done, and that's always got to come first. Usually we're quickly tacking things together, but not for permanent adhesion. No. And the other thing is, that's another thing for hot glue is, remember, when it cools, it's literally just melted plastic. There's no adhesion happening. It's just melted plastic that's getting into places and then cooling and becoming solid plastic, right? And so that could crack. So you don't want to put it on anything that's flexible, like foam, because when that moves, that hot glue will crack and break off, and suddenly it's not there anymore. I'm going to meet Steve Whitmire. Nice. Do you have any questions you could ask? Oh, Kermit, do you have anything you'd like to ask Steve Whitmire? I sure do. I know he's answered this question before, but I would like to get, I know there's no grips inside Kermit's head. He has said that there's a lining. I wonder if he knows what the lining is made out of. Is it fleece? That's what I've used in my Kermits. I've used a fleece lining. So, and God help you if you leave your hot glued project in the car on a summer day. Oh no. In Atlanta. Yeah, that sure is something. Okay, folks. I am going to cut it a bit short because I do need my lunch and I got to get to this editing those photos anyway. So we're going to cut it short. Hopefully this Wednesday will be the regular build stream as usual. Thank you, everybody, as always, for turning up. I don't think we're doing any Frankie Play stuff this weekend. We haven't talked about it, but I think I need a quiet weekend of just digging my head into the Neverwinter server. Go listen to the podcast at pixelsandpuppets.com. There is a contest running and there is one left. So get your ears on the podcast and maybe win a free thing, and that's all I'm going to say. Thank you, everybody. We're going to end the stream, and I will see you all later.